The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Bleav.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The Uerland mention is the greatest.
This is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast, powered by WarhawkReport.com.
With hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian. More important than baseball. Sorry, Ford. Oh, what on earth did I just walk into?
I think I'm doing this right, but he's yelling at me, so I'm not. And so,
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
So was that actually y'all's idea? That's awesome.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
a new intro just for you, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Just for you.
You know I love it. It's a great one, Tibbs. You do such a great job. I really contribute nothing to this podcast. I'm so thankful for you.
I'm glad we snuck in a little apologies to Ford Pemberton.
Yeah.
We got some SJ Tui in there.
Yeah, we did. You're right. New blood. Sounds great.
Gotta keep Fish in there. Fish will probably be in there for a while.
I hope so, man. Fish is the foundation of this podcast. That's for sure.
So coming up, because you abandoned me and you were afraid to talk to BV, I went solo and talked to him. And you know, that was one of the things I said. I said, I know you got to rebuild and you reloaded a lot of this offensive line, but there's no replacing Fish or Jay Mickle.
Yeah.
Talent or personality wise.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, I appreciate you saying I ditched you, but can you tell the people why?
I don't know.
And you
something about
you messed this up. Tell them how you messed
I did
up.
what? I messed
Tell
up.
them how you messed up. Oh no,
How did I
you
mess
did.
up?
Well, tell them why first, then I'll tell them how you messed up.
Well, you were in Lafayette hanging out with Dr. Brian Maggard, athletic director of the University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
I was in enemy territory, but wrong enemy.
That's right. You were in the ATL-ish, right?
I was in Savannah, Georgia, which is just an hour south of Georgia Southern in Statesboro. Yeah. Seeing my parents because it was my...
Oh yeah, it's your birthday. Happy
It was my birthday. And I thought you messed up because I thought that you texted me a day late, but you didn't. You just texted me really late the night of my birthday.
Yeah.
But thanks. Yeah, I was traveling, couldn't get back, and I actually was on a plane that got delayed. I was probably not going to make it anyways, but I was on a plane that got delayed that really made sure I couldn't make the interview, which is a bummer because I love talking BV. He's such a I love cracking at him a little bit. You know what I mean? Taking it all serious, and then you kind of sneak something in there.
Yeah, he was already in coach mode. We didn't really get too many chuckles or anything like that out of him.
He is. I'm sure he's going to miss Fish and Mickle though. Those were two integral parts of that offense, much less O-line, but that offense in general last year. So missing your quarterback of the O-line there at center is going to be rough.
All right, we'll come back to the football talk here in just a minute. We got to talk about the straight whooping baseball put on Texas State, sending them off to the Pac-12 with a sweep.
And what a tweet! I mean, I love the tweet. It was like, have fun. What did it say? Have good luck in the Pac-12 or something. I mean, what from the top rope? I mean, yeah. I mean, a sweet. Did you see that coming?
No. So I felt pretty good about Friday night, right? Because it's at home. You knew that we had at least a good rested bullpen with no midweek game.
Yeah.
Pitching was going to be good. We knew that we were going to be able to hit. And we got that Friday night game. I was like, sweet. The secret to making it to Montgomery is you got to win one. You can't be swept.
Right.
You don't have to sweep everything, but you can't be swept. You got to get one. So we get Friday night. I was like, fantastic. Right on par. 1-2. Yeah, we'd love to be 2-1, but hey, we'll take it. Then they got the Saturday game, Chase. And I was like, 2-1 coming out of the weekend is fantastic. And especially when their Sunday starter, voice of the Warhawks, Mike Hammett, even said, yeah, this guy, he surrendered a run all season long. And I was like, well, good luck to you, buddy.
Why would you say that, Mike?
But it worked out. Sent 13 batters to the dish in the first inning, took an 8-0 lead, and just never looked back in the run rule victory on Sunday. Ecstatic, man. I mean, going into a midweek game this week against UNO, another pretty good program. They got to travel up to New Orleans this time. They did beat them in that May Street Classic to close out that little round robin tournament they had back at the beginning of the season. But you got to love it before they hit the road to go to South Alabama.
I mean, 16-5, these kids. I was watching the scores, and then it was like, whoa, man, they just slapped people. Do you think that's who we are? Okay. Because now it seems to me like we are a team with a hot bat and some struggles on the mound. Do you think that's what we're going to see the rest of the season? It's just us put up 10 points a game, but somebody might get 12.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about even during fall ball that's kind of what was shown there and kind of what we had. I think that there's been some instances where some pitching has kind of overachieved and not really followed the script, so to say, which I'm fine with on those outings. But yeah, I think we are literally a team that is going to come in and beat the opponent.
Hey, that sounds like exciting baseball. I probably still won't watch it.
Come on, go to Lafayette with me. Go to the motherland.
It's so far from me. No, unfortunately, like I said, I thought UTA was going to get rained out. It doesn't. And beyond that, it's I got a better chance of going to see Tech in Ruston than I do going to any of the rest of these.
I sent you the text, and I think I even called you about going to that UTA game. I just heard back from that guy like last week saying that we were approved, by the way.
For our media passes. That's awesome. Thanks, bro. Yeah. That's so funny.
So if we go back in time, we can we can go, Chase.
That's so funny. Rough. Yeah, good for baseball, man. We need them to be. I want them to be hot. Hot bats. We can last this season. Maybe it's who we are. That's exciting.
Softball, other end of the spectrum, unable to really get it done there in San Marcos against the Bobcats. I think they got 1-2 on the weekend, and then lost to a top 10 Alabama team. Softball's not really living up to the hype. I think that they've had some struggles kind of all around. I don't think that they've been hitting very well, and if they have been hitting, they haven't been able to pitch. If they can pitch, they can't hit. Fielding's been a little suspect, kind of the complete opposite of everything we expected coming into this season.
I mean, still 7-1 at home, right? That's their thing, really, so that they protect home. But unbelievably high expectations. I don't know about you, but I have unbelievably high expectations for them now. Like, it is to win every home game, and it's to go to the Sun Belt Championship every single year now. And maybe that's just the torn down ULM fan that I am, but are they bad, or they're just not meeting our expectations? That's my question.
I don't think they're playing well right now. And I think you can still be a good team and just not playing well. And I think that's where we are right now. Getting run ruled on the Sunday getaway game there against Texas State. They took them to extras on Friday night, and then obviously got the win there on Saturday. I think it's a struggle. And I don't know how much of this is also that maybe we as fans put a little too much expectation, too much hype on this program that wasn't maybe ready for it.
You think, like, if they, if they end up turning, not necessarily turn it around. I mean, they're still not, what we've seen in the past of some of these teams. But you think that if they turn it around this year, then too high of expectations, or you think they're ready for it then? So you're saying this is kind of like a building year almost, like, right? Like we're seeing almost regress the mean a little bit? You think?
I think there's no hidden secrets. I think the Browns really kind of came out of nowhere last year, and then you still had Victoria Abrams, Common. Isn't that how you say it? Common. On in the circle pitching, and you just haven't really had that same type of success or dominance out of your pitching. I say that Megan Brown is only hitting 362 so far on the season, and Morgan hitting 348, only, which is always a bad word. And then you got Holly Thomas already hitting 5 home runs. I mean, it's there. It just hasn't all been strung along to really play that complete game yet.
So give them some time. See if they figure it out a little bit. I trust Molly to do it. She got my support, man.
Women's basketball, no dancing on, but I think Scotty is dancing, knowing that he's out on the recruiting trail trying to rebuild that roster, knowing there were 9 girls off that team at the end of the season. I'm excited. I always try to be a little reserved on it, but seeing what he did this past year and knowing that he really gets to kind of put his hand back out there and grab the players that he has the contacts with, that he has the relationships with, I'm excited to see what he can do next year.
Yeah, I think, I don't know about you, man, one of my favorite interviews for sure. What a nice, not just a nice guy, but like you get this feeling that he genuinely wants to do well and wants to succeed, wants his players to succeed. And I think you get the type of energy he has. And he's talked with us a little bit, like he's not afraid to be like, well, why aren't we on your radar? Like he's not afraid to tell recruits, like top recruits, like, hey, I don't understand why I'm not on your radar. Like we're building something here. You're going to play great minutes. You're going to play a fun style of basketball. You're going to love this town. And, man, I don't know. I feel like he did well enough to where he set an expectation, but it's not crazy high. Does that make sense? Like now we're seeing with Molly, like I expect him to do well, but do I expect him to win a championship next year? Maybe not, but still continue to push that envelope. I think he's just done a wonderful job after Missy to kind of continue the momentum we had in women's basketball.
No doubt. Could you imagine though? I forget the girl's name, but I mean, she's like the top prospect in the nation out of Oak Grove right there in Monroe. Imagine if they did cross paths and Scotty's like, hey, how's mom and them? But they said they want to keep you at home. And she's like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, they wanted to watch you play every single night. How about you come here? Yeah. Dude. Come on.
That would be
you gotta get a local. You gotta get a local deal. Somebody pay her some NIL. Gotta get what's the local law firm that you see on all the things?
Oh, there's so many.
Are they even local though? That was the big thing. Are they local? We got to get one of those guys. The guy that gave Will Campbell an ad. I don't know, Tibbs. We got to get somebody in there.
Rec Brascato, call Brascato, whatever.
Wrecked Auto, call Brascato. Yeah, get Brascato in there. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be some exciting stuff. Still on the hunt for our next men's leader, trying to narrow that field down. Had some hot boards updated there on Warhawk Report that subscribers get access to see kind of where we're leading to. I'm going on the record to say I am not a supporter of the J. Will experiment.
Really?
I just don't see him being a good face to the program.
Well, I saw the hot board, read the forum this morning, and I'm not going to spoil it. Okay, so don't go subscribe. But the names, I didn't have a problem with any of the names you listed. Well, you listed not all 3, but it was I really we've talked a lot about Cross, and that'd be interesting. Now walk me through this, Tibbs. Who is the assistant that a lot of people are calling for? That I see this on Facebook a lot of people are trying to get him in there.
Derek Zimmerman played at Wassman, played at Mississippi State. last year, not this past season, the year before, he was a associate head coach or something at Louisiana Lafayette. And when Bob Marlin resigned, quit, got fired, whatever, Zimmerman was the man. He was the interim head coach for the Cajuns last season. Did an okay job, but I think that it really showed that he just wasn't quite ready to take over the reins of a program. He still needs a little bit more tuning, a little bit more polishing to really be that CEO type. I think on the X's and O's on the recruiting front, I think that he has everything under the sun there. But you got to be the face of the program, and you got to be able to shake the babies and kiss the hands, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And so, do you think that last year tanked him from this? From being,
Not at all.
You think he's still, maybe an option?
I'd say he's an outside option, but I think that there's other people that would be better for him even to continue that tuning and mentorship to get him to where he can be a great head coach.
So you think he'd still you still like to see him as an assistant head coach, associate head coach?
A local guy that has that kind of pedigree, played in the SEC, went to a Sweet 16, and he's on your staff, and he's from Monroe, to where he can recruit the Ravels, he can recruit the West Monroes, the Shreveport schools, because he can relate to all those guys. Hey, I was you just several years ago.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Excited to see what happens there. I like that. Like SJ's taking his time a little bit. I feel like maybe soccer happened really fast, in my opinion. Maybe it didn't. Maybe this is hindsight bias, but I like that he's taking his time a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you got to make the right hire, but at the same time, scrolling through the X, all you see is this guy's entering the transfer portal. This guy's entering the transfer portal, and you got to wonder how many of those guys, like the SWAC freshman of the year at Grambling, would he be a good fit under whatever coach we wind up hiring, that we could get him kind of at the home discount, so to say? Yeah. Did we get the right guy in place that maybe Kristen Lewis is like, yeah, I'm not going to go in the portal. I'll pull back out, stay home and play. So there is a little sense of urgency in my opinion, but I don't think that we have to make that hire today.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The other big news, we got a schedule, Chase. We knew who was on the schedule for football, but now we know the order. Kicking off the season in Stark Vegas against Mississippi State, a trip to UAB, the ever dangerous Southeastern Louisiana, and FAU come in to round out the non-conference slate. I wrote a quick preview of that. Not ashamed to say it. I picked a 2-2 preseason or non-conference record heading into the South Alabama game that kicks off Sun Belt Conference action.
You think the losses are Mississippi State and UAB?
Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. I could even see, and I know I'll be roasted for it, I could see a win at UAB and a loss to Southeastern. You look at the two games that we've played against Southeastern Louisiana in recent history. Both games combined have been decided by 4 points.
Scary. Southeastern's scary. And I, like McNeese, Nichols, Nichols when I played them was trash, but not anymore. I mean, all those schools should scare you.
Except for Northwestern State.
Northwestern State. No. I meant south of, really like South Louisiana. No, if it's Northwestern State. Beautiful town during Christmas.
I love the Demons. Fork them.
No, beautiful town during Christmas, but outside of that 2-week period, that kind of sucks. So, I could see that. I think if you were pressed me for a prediction, which you're not, but I'm going to give it anyways, is I could see. I think realistically, I'd also agree with you that 2-2 is realistic. I really don't see us losing to Southeastern. I think UAB is going to be a much larger match than they were 2 years ago coming in. And that it's going to be a little more intense of a game. I think that was UAB's first time coming into Malone. That's a hard thing to do. I mean, you look at the record of first time playing Malone, we win a lot. And FAU has been to Malone before. Now it's been what, 2 decades, or a decade at least. But I love seeing the old former Sun Belt opponents coming in because they suck. FAU sucks.
They suck on the defense. Offensive side, they were pretty good offensively there, Chase, and especially their quarterback Van Camp or Veltkamp that transferred in from Western Kentucky. He was like a top 25 statistic quarterback in the NCAA, and their offense, I want to say, was tops averaging around 344 yards a game.
I really want to disagree with you and say they still suck, but that's pretty good. I do a lot of things 344 yards per game. I'll tell you what, dude.
and that's why I do think the Warhawks, at least again, kind of basing it on last year, do have a chance, because you look at that defense that ULM had under Reffitt, and they're not going to put up those kind of numbers against a Reffitt defense.
No, I firmly believe that, and that is completely biased because Reffitt was the DC while I was there, but his defense just it doesn't allow you to score on it like that. I mean, you might get some yards, you might push the ball, you're going to get a few first downs, but it's incredibly tight and hard in the red zone, and it creates a lot of turnovers. And if you're a team that likes to pass the ball a lot, you will turn the ball over against the ULM defense if Troy Reffitt's the DC.
As I said, then we kick off Sun Belt Conference action. One game, South Alabama, a bye week, Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech was 20 games.
Bryant Vincent about, and I said, Coach, I know a lot of the old heads, the old boosters have talked to you a lot. What game do they have circled more, Louisiana Tech or Louisiana Lafayette? And you'll have to wait to hear his answer. But I'm just letting you know that there's a reason there's a bye week before Louisiana Tech.
Hey, I love that. And it's the only reason, to be honest, why I've committed to doing radio again this year was so I can go witness that game, because I don't have the hatred that others do for Tech. I have a lot of indifference towards them, but I love to see. We needed another heated rivalry on the schedule to get some people excited about it.
I still say that's our number one rival. I really do.
It's just because
But you got to remember, I'm the old man. I was there for those games.
Yeah, I didn't know how to say it nicer, so I was kind of trying to let you build that in there.
Got a road trip to Troy. I like how the schedule's kind of stacked of a home, away, home, away, home, away, where you're playing at Troy, you host Southern Miss, at Arkansas State, against Louisiana Lafayette, at App, and then Marshall at home. Now, that App State game, November 21st, Chase. Guess what kind of weather that is in the mountains of North Carolina?
Let's go. Hey, let's go skiing, you and me.
Not going to happen.
GoPro the whole thing. Okay, you and I will go skiing. I'm stoked, dude. I remember playing App State in October when we played them in Boone at the Rock, and it was a blast. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then we'll get back to the conversation, Tibbs. Have I told you this yet?
Not that I remember.
Okay, so we go to App State, and they're like, yeah, it's going to be cold, but don't worry about it, okay? Well, it rains while we're there, and it's every bit of 35 degrees. On day of, it drops down to, low 30s, higher 20s. And I realize as I'm walking on the field, it's cold as shit here, and I don't have a single long sleeve or tights or anything for this game, and I can no longer feel my body. And so, people are gonna be like, oh, Chase, you're such a wimp, like you're an offensive lineman, you should be a hard ass. Not me, guys. No, if it was cold, I was going to be in long sleeve and tights. And I remember asking at the time, I forget his name, I think his name was Cole, was the equipment guy. I said, hey man, I forgot my you got any long sleeves or tights or anything? He looks me dead in the eyes. He said, you and 50 other dumb mother, bleep that, put a bleep there. And he said, good luck. And I put Tiger Balm all on my arms and legs, thinking it was going to help. It does not help. I play the entire game freezing my ass off. Right before halftime, we call a play, like a Hail Mary play. I'm one-on-one with the kid, and he got drafted, and I don't remember his name. He got drafted in the second round. He was very good defensive end for App State. And I don't touch him, Tibbs, and he picks Pete Thomas up and slams him on the ground. And my mother called me after the game and said, I think that's the worst play I've ever watched you make in your life. And so, wonderful environment, terrible experience.
Did you say thanks, Mom?
I just laughed. I said, wow, thanks for watching. Thanks, wow. But I am excited to go back to Boone. I think it's a wonderful opponent, and I'm glad Marshall comes to us. We don't have to go to the shithole that is Huntington.
One other note: the Cajun game is on a Thursday night, Chase.
I know it.
I'm excited about that.
I will be there.
That means that it's very likely. It's still too early on the windows to call the game and all that. Very likely, though, to be picked up by the U or the Deuce.
Come on. Yeah. I love that. Put a rivalry game on Thursday, and nobody goes to I'm not sorry, nobody goes. We won't have any competition, hopefully, that day.
Yeah, that'll be like the Georgia Florida game got moved to that day.
Right, November 12th. Yeah. That's just our luck.
So we'll do a quick break, and then when we come back, it'll be my interview with head coach Bryant Vincent.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Third-year head coach, third season. Head coach Bryant Vincent joins us. Coach, crawl, walk, run. What's it take this year for the Warhawks to run?
I think that we got off to a good start and did a lot of things that, a lot of people didn't think we could year one. Year two, was disappointing on my part. I don't think I did a good enough job as a head coach. And I take full responsibility of that. And I mean that. And, we've really examined the things that we had to improve on and fix, and adjustments that I felt like I had to make as a head coach. And, I like this team, man. I'm excited about this team. I think, our mission is important. Our purpose is important. I think we have great, we're still building this team. We're still molding this team. I think this is week 8, with Ice Mageddon that we had. Ice Mageddon missing five days, really 7 total workout days. But man, just the growth of this team and just seeing it come together. I think our locker room is a really competitive locker room. We brought in 47 players that I think have made a tremendous impact. And, with the retention that we had from last year's team, I've seen a lot of things in this team through winter workouts that I haven't seen in the previous 2 teams that are very encouraging. I think, we've got a lot of experience coming back at key positions, and I think we've added a really good class, to make this a team that's got a chance to do some special things.
Well, it all starts with quarterback, and last year we saw some great things, ending the year with Aiden Armenta. How much of that has that kind of carried over into these spring workouts? And do you think that it's enough to say he's the starter, or do you think it's a good reminder of the past and kind of showing him what he can do, putting in the work? Or is this a wide open race this spring?
I think every position is always wide open. We're going to play the best players. We're going to play, the guys that earn their roles, whether it's a starter or whether it's, the backup or whether it's a contributor. I think Aiden Armena's had his best offseason. I think that competition brings out the best in everybody. But I think right now, I think he's in the best shape that he's been in since he's been here. I think his leadership has really grown. Um, I think the command is really grown. I think I've seen Aiden Armena's best these last 8 weeks, and I think that that we're going to see his best. I'm excited to see him this spring. I think the quarterback position is a really fun position to watch. You've got Landon Graves back, who that one start, and the experience that he got, in games, and then that start against Southern Miss, he didn't get cleared. He had shoulder surgery and didn't get cleared till May. And I think Landon's in the best shape, that he's been in this year and looks the best he's been. You've got Bryson Kimbrough, who we redshirted last year. He's just different, man. I think Bryson has a very bright future here. He's 6'2", 205 pounds. He's a leader. He's a great teammate. He's very athletic. He's got a strong arm. I think he's gonna really impress some people this spring. And then Austin Carlisle, who we brought in from Houston, is a guy that's come in with a swag about him, in a good way. He's obviously, everybody knows that he's really fast, but I think that he has really came in here and brought a competitive edge in that room and brought a lot of intangibles to that room and has something to prove. So the quarterback position is going to be a fun position to watch. They're all, doing all the right things. They're a close room. They compete. They're very competitive. I think they've all amped that up, and I think it's just brought out the best in every one of them.
You're an offensive guy through and through. You brought in an offensive coordinator, and when it's like sending your kid off to college, that they're leaving. You still got to keep up with them and everything else. How hard has that been to already start trying to make that transition over to Coach Montalto for the offense?
It's obviously it was a tough gig. I'm always going to be honest, because I've been a coordinator really since I was 23 years old and called plays when I was the interim coach at UAB, the head coach. I was still the offensive coordinator. I still called the plays, and obviously was just the OC in New Mexico and called it the first 2 years here. But I felt like, the demands of this job, and I felt like the best thing for this program to take the next step was to hire an offensive coordinator. And it was hard. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, it was hard. But, Jesse Montalto, Coach Montalto, he's the only guy that I even talked to about the position, because I've known him since 2011. I've always had a lot of respect for him as a leader, as a recruiter, and obviously as a play caller. And, the first couple of weeks, it was different, not running the offensive meetings, not, scripting practice or not scripting and planning and doing all our posts or our off-season things that we do offensively. But, as the days went, I knew that I made the right decision because, he's a relentless worker. He's a grinder. He lives with me, so he stays with me and my family right now. And he's never home, not that I'm home much, but I mean, he's probably the first guy that ever beats me to the building and stays past it. I mean, he's a football junkie. He's an offensive junkie. He's up here when I mean all the time. And our players, I think our players have really gravitated to him, which I knew they would because of his personality. He's a player's coach. He's a great leader. He's a great motivator. And I think our kids I know they're bought in, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see us go get starting tomorrow, day one.
You got a lot taken off your plate there with SJ Tui coming on board and taking over at least the AD title. I know that you're still very involved, obviously being the CEO there of football. What's that relationship been like? And have you kind of offloaded all those duties to him?
Absolutely. I told somebody the other day, I sat back and I'm sitting here, and I'm just being the head coach, at any program, but especially at ULM, it's the head coach is demanding. Obviously you're obviously running everything, and you get pulled, and you're still a fundraiser, and you're still fighting to build our facilities, continue to build our nutrition program, and everything that we do. We've got to continue to raise the bar. I told a couple buddies the other day, I said, I truly don't know how in the world that I was able to be the head coach, the athletic director, and the offensive coordinator, because you get pulled in so many directions. I see the offense in Coach Montado and them in their meeting, and I'm getting pulled here and pulled there, and got to handle this because that's what you have to do when you're the head coach. And it makes me look even confirm more that I made the right decision, hiring an offensive coordinator, because I don't think that I was doing it enough justice being able to wear both hats, because they're both major jobs. And SJ has been a breath of fresh air. Um, I understand what it takes to be the athletic director here, and it's a massive job. We have a great relationship. I'm thoroughly excited that he's our athletic director, and hey, he's running the show. He's the guy, and he's got his hands full. It's a monster. It's a monster of a job, but he's come in here. He's hit the ground running. He's got a chip on his shoulder in every sport to make this athletic department better. And I think he's done that in a short amount of time. I know he's done that. And I think that he brings an extra energy, an extra passion. He brings a lot of great ideas outside the box that I think are really fit this town and this community. And I think that he's driven to make everything better. And, I think there's proof in that each and every single day. So I'm excited. I'm happy. We've got a great relationship, and I'm excited he's here.
The schedule dropped, one money game, and it's right out the gates there against Mississippi State. What are kind of your expectations coming in this season, knowing that you only have the one money game and kind of level playing field for the next 11 games?
I'm excited that I really am. I'm excited that we've got the one money game. I think that the best way to phrase that is we decided to try winning. We decided to try winning, and it's a new attempt. I'm excited about it. We open up with Mississippi State, who I think Coach Levy has, made great progress in building that program. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a great environment, and we're looking forward to that. And then you go from there, and you go to the Sun Belt's a great league. We go to UAB week 2. We got Southeast Louisiana, who's a FCS playoff team, who Coach Selfo does a tremendous job there. So I expect another great crowd there at home. Then we've got FAU at home, and then we open up in the conference. We get to go to South Alabama as our conference opener. And then we're welcome La Tech, for the first time in a long time to Monroe, Louisiana, that I know our fans, alumni, and just former players, everybody's excited to renew that rivalry as we, go into conference play the rest of that season. So I think we've got a great schedule. We've got Lafayette at home, on a Thursday night on a nationally televised game that we haven't had in years. We've got Southern Miss at home. We've got Marshall at home to end the season. And, we've got to go to App. We go to Arkansas State. We go to Troy. So go to South Alabama. I think we've got a great schedule. The Sun Belt's a great league, as everybody knows, but we've got 6 home games, 6 away games, and we've got 3 Louisiana teams, coming to Monroe. So I expect people to buy their season tickets early and get a hold of them. I think that our ticket sales are going to be through the roof, and I think our home games are going to be as exciting as they've ever been in a long time.
You've been around, so I know you have the good relationships there with some of the bigger boosters and alumni. Which one have they circled heavier for you, the Louisiana Tech game or Louisiana Lafayette?
They have 100% absolutely circled La Tech.
Does that put a little pressure on you that, you're the guy that gets to kind of break that, I think it's like 25, 26-year streak and try to really rekindle that old rivalry that they knew about in the 70s and 80s even?
I don't think so. There's really, I don't look at it as pressure. I look at it as opportunity, and I'm excited about that game. I think it's going to bring, it's going to bring the kind of excitement and rivalry to this town that it probably hasn't seen in a long time. I think this stadium will be packed. I think it'll be a moment that has been waited for a long time, and it's going to bring a lot of our former players and alumni, back into the fold.
Coach, looking forward to spring ball. Who is maybe some names that we need to watch out for as spring camp gets ready to kick off?
Man, I think there's a lot of names. I think if you just talk offensively at the receiver position, look at Buck. Brandon Buckhalter is healthy. He's 6'2", he's 210 pounds. He's the best shape. This has been the best offseason. He's had a tremendous offseason. I think he's going to really turn some heads. Nick Trujillo has really taken a huge step in the offseason. You look at LT at the receiver position that we signed out of Hutch is really, I think he can play every position on the offense. He's just a student of the game. I think, if you look at a guy that could surprise people that's been able to stay healthy is Javon Campbell, who we didn't get to see last year because he was injured. He was kind of our go-to guy. I'm excited to see him. He's really come on and gotten his body healthy, his knee back healthy, and he's a guy that I'm excited about. Parker Fulgham, who, from Shreveport that we signed from Clemson. Marcellus Jackson is another guy. JP Coulter has had a great offseason. I think our receivers, are going to be a position I think that we have really upgraded with speed and playmaking ability. If you look at the running back position, Don Chaney, Julian Walker, Trayvon Kitchen, I think a guy named Derek Jameson, who's a 6 foot, 228-pound running back that can really run. Don Chaney's a 6'1", 248-pound running back right now. Julian's 5'9", 215. Trayvon's 5'11", 228. I just wrote Bryson Rowland, who rushed for over 1,100 yards at Arkansas Tech as a true freshman last year, is a guy that's going to come in here and turn heads. And heck, Hagan Herring and Macon Leonard. Hagan Herring has broke 170. He walked in the door at 151 pounds. Hagan Herring is tough as nails, and Macon Leonard's a 5'10", 220-pound kid, from OCS. So, and we talked about the quarterback position, man. The tight end position is a position I think is as talented as, golly, I can remember since we had Gerald Everett and Braden Bowman at South Alabama. Bryce Anderson, 6'6", 260, who played at Memphis, played in all 13 games, played for Coach Montalto at Iowa Central. Dalen Houston is a 6'3", 235-pound tight end that can run a 4.5 and a 38-inch vertical. You've got a kid named Cade Callahan from Boston, Massachusetts, Division II Merrimack, that's 6'4", 250 pounds that can run. And Jace Hoth, who we signed from Tennessee State, is a 6'3", 250-pound tight end, along with Stephen Gorski, back in Cy Stovall. So I think our tight end position is as deep and athletic as I've seen in years.
On that offensive line, though, you got to replace two big guys. I don't think you can replace Fish's personality, but you got to replace him physically there. And then also Jay Mickle, two big parts of that offensive line. What's that offensive line look like? Because it doesn't really matter what's in the secondary, how great the receivers are on the speed. If you don't have time, it's not going to get there.
I agree. I feel as good as this offensive line as I've felt in a long time. We've got Drew Hutchinson back, who started the last game against Lafayette at center. We've got a kid named Sean Duggery, who we signed from Memphis, that is a 6'3.5" to 320-pound center. We've got a Darius Green at center who we signed from Cole Lynn. We've got Jordan Rowe and we've got Taylor Quinn at the guard positions. Who didn't get to play a snap for us last year, Roscoe Tucker, who's 6'5", 325 at the guard position. We've got Reese Steele coming back, who just got cleared from ACL, who started games for us last year. We were able to medical him. You've got Nate Green at guard. You've got back who started 9 games for us. You've got, we've got Colleen Croswell who started 8 games for us at guard. So we feel really good about our center depth, our guard depth. You've got AJ Vincent back at right tackle, who I think has a chance to be one of the top tackles in the league. Quintus Griffin is back behind him, John Goodman, and we signed Freddie Gavin from junior college at the left tackle. We've got David Applewhite, and we've got Bright. I have a really hard time saying his last name, from Tiffin, who I think he's 6'5", 315. And then we've got Jeremiah Green, back there as our. So I feel really good about this offensive line, its depth and its experience, and I think it's going to be. I think without a doubt, it's going to be the best offensive line that we've put on the field here.
Great stuff there, Coach. Looking forward to getting out there and seeing the Bayou, seeing the sights, the sounds of spring football.
Absolutely. And defensively, I think our inside linebacking core is the best linebacking core that I've been a part of. With Noah Fleming's back, Marcus Ross, Kelby Holmes, we signed the National Defensive Player of the Year, and Lazavius Adams, we call him Pooh, TJ Williams, Ricky Banks. We've got Fred Clark back. So our inside linebackers are deep, they're experienced, they're fast. The D-line, I feel really good. Derek Ormereggi, who didn't get to play snap, he tore his ACL the first day of spring last year. He's 6'5", 280 pounds. We've got James Smith back. We've got Jalen Callender back. We were able to sign Marvin Hall, who's a 6'5", 305-pound kid. Zion Tremont, we signed and got in, 6'5", 300. We've got Levante Jacobs back. He tore his ACL against Coastal Carolina, so we were able to medical redshirt him. He's 6'5", 320. So feel like we've got really good depth there. Really like our defensive front. We went out and signed 6 corners. So I think our corner position is going to be a lot like our receiver position. It's going to be deep and very competitive, from Corey Wilson to Jay Harper, to our Armani Rue, who was an All-American junior college kid that we really fought to get and was able to get him this next offseason in the portal. We got a kid named Jaden Lewis, who is a 6'3", 190-pound. He's from Sumter, Alabama, Greene County, Alabama, that can really run. So I think our corner position is as deep as it's been in a long time. And then our safety position, we signed a kid, got Carl Fontroy back at safety. We signed DJ Jester, 6'2", 200-pound safety from Hutch. We've got signed Taj Overton, who's from Mobile, Alabama, from Arkansas, who's another 6'2", 190-pound safety. RJ Hall, who's a speedster. We've got Zy Jackson back at the safety position. Jabari Tiller at our middle hawk with Willie Wilson that we signed, and Amir Adams back. So we feel like we're 3 deep at all those positions, and I think it's going to be a very competitive spring with a lot of speed and a lot of size.
After last year, Coach, did you start interviewing players to say, can you kick? I know you're a great offensive guard, but can you kick?
You know what I did? We did go out and we went out and got 2 kickers. So we will have a total of 3 this year. Max will be back. He is cleared. We've signed Abram Murray. He's from Shreveport. He signed with Miami Hurricanes out of high school. They had a special teams coaching change. He went to Cal. And then Cal made a change with Coach Wilcox. And he wanted to come home and have some stability. So we were able to get Abram in here. And we've got a really good local kid that I can't comment on just yet until he gets here, that I think is going to be an outstanding kicker. So we will have 3 this year. They will be in bright orange jerseys. Nobody's allowed to touch them. And when we kick off, their rule now this year is once you kick off, you run straight to the sideline because we will never go through that situation ever again. It was very tough to deal with. It was excruciating, but we are through it, and we have learned our lesson from it.
Tough lesson, but I get it there, Coach. And yeah, the local kid there, a top 10 Coles kicking candidate. So even if you have to fall to the true freshman, it's definitely in good hands there.
Absolutely. We feel like we've got 3 really good, talented kickers on this team. In my 29 years, I've never lost one season-ending injury, but to lose them both, so now, with the 105 roster limit, it makes it tough, but we've got 3, and we feel like 3 really good ones.
Coach, it's great stuff. Thank you so much there for your time, and look forward to seeing you there on the Bayou.
Hey, I appreciate you, Dusty. Appreciate everything you do for ULM athletics, Warhawk athletics, man, and look forward to seeing you this spring, buddy.
There you go, Chase. I can already hear the popping of the pads, the grunts, the groans of guys getting hit for the first time in months, sore bodies from workouts, and loving every bit of it.
You can smell the CTE from here, can't you, bud?
And I showered today, too.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I know on record, I will say that Mike McGee and I have committed to radio this year, and we're really excited to do this will be my 4th year to do it. This will be Mike McGee's 10th, and so, of course, Hambone will be there. We're looking forward to having you along with us sometimes and putting out some good content for listening.
Yeah, we'll do our post-game show again, and this will be year 27 for me, Chase.
Wow. 27, man. Committed. Not as committed as Corey Crow, but pretty committed. What away games are you committing to right now? I'll put you on the spot.
Let me look and see. I think I'm going to go to Stark Vegas.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Probably UAB.
I think also will be a fun one for the lore.
Probably South Alabama.
Yeah.
Troy is very, very iffy. I would say
it's
10%.
Hard one to get to. Yeah.
Well, and there's some other things happening that weekend. Arkansas State, I still owe Jeremy from Hellraiser a trip to Little Rock, where he is based out of, to do an Arkansas State game with him. So that one is very likely. The game I definitely have circled, though, App State. I love some Boone. Have a great time every time going up there. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully we're getting there together. We can go get. I've heard the thing to do there is get Mexican food or hibachi or something like that.
That or cookout.
The chain cookout?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have those in Houston?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe we'll have maybe we'll make a little dinner spot and have some. If anybody wants to come join us there at the cookout.
Don't sound too excited about that.
Yeah, we're gonna fly, 24 hours to go to a chain restaurant. I'm stoked.
Would you rather just bring us a Johnny's Take and Bake with us?
Hey, don't doubt me, but I will put some nacho cheese on that plane quick. I love that place.
Yeah, and then the plane gets evacuated for some unknown substance found.
Right. Volatile substances found.
Friday, May 1st, Chase. They're bringing the country music back with Justin Moore with One More Night coming to, I think it's going to be in Fayette Ewing Coliseum. General public tickets go on sale March 23rd, so just around the corner. And if you're a part of our flight crew, you get early access to tickets.
Very cool.
And I'm claiming it as ours.
I was going to roll with it, but yeah, sure. Yeah, very cool. Country music, baby. Hope they sell that thing out. Go support. Go have a good time. I've always loved the concerts they've had in the past, whether that be for Spring Fever, whether that be for fundraisers, but always a blast.
As long as it's not another T-Pain concert where there were maybe 30 people in the crowd.
Yeah, I saw the Revivalist there once. That was good. That's a good show.
I think I saw in my tenure there, saw Ludacris, saw Fall Out Boy.
Wow.
And T-Pain was actually at the Civic Center.
Oh. Saw the Revivalists. I saw Lee Bryce. I saw 303. And it's not Kesha. What's that girl's name? Iggy Azalea, maybe? Is that her name? I don't know.
There is an Iggy Azalea.
Yeah, there we go. That's who it was. Anyways, they're always a blast. Go support. Have fun. Have a beer on us. We'll Venmo you. We'll pay Tibbs. Tibbs will Venmo you. Just DM him. He'll Venmo you so you can buy a beer there.
Not a true story. I gotta sell a lot more subscriptions for that. So like and subscribe on Warhawk Report.
There you go.
Chase, so much fun. We'll do it again soon.
See you soon.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.